नमस्कार दोस्तों, सुप्रभात. Welcome to Akanksha Desire for Wellness and welcome to Wednesday Inspiration. जैसा कि हर वेडनेसडे हमारे साथ एक इंस्पायरिंग पर्सन आते हैं इस शो पे. तो आज भी हमारे साथ एक बहुत इंस्पायरिंग पर्सन है whom I would like to introduce you, and that is Dr. Vidya Satish. Good morning, Dr. Vidya. Welcome to Akanksha Desire for Wellness. Such a lovely and sweet person. I would like to introduce Dr. Vidya. Dr. Vidya Satish is the director of SIES Institute of Comprehensive Education, Sion, Mumbai, and Nerul, Navi Mumbai. Dr. Vidya is passionate about early childhood teacher education and parent education. Her doctoral research was on developmental appreciation of educational software used for children between 4 and 7 years of age in the city of Mumbai and Navi Mumbai. So welcome again, Dr. Vidya. So I have got a couple of questions, which was very, when I saw your profile, it was very interesting. So first question that I would like to ask you, since I am also doing my PhD research. So when I saw your research topic, I found it very interesting. So I would like to know, what all challenges you faced when you were working on your topic, because now I understand there are so many challenges which we face when we are doing our research. So if you can share, that would be a great thing for me. I'll learn something from that. Yeah.
Good morning. Very happy to be in this platform. Thank you so much for inviting me. And it's always nice to meet new
Thank
people and also speak to them. Your question on PhD. PhD is a journey by itself. So all those who've done a doctorate will definitely understand that it is not something. It's not quick fix. It's not something short.
Yes.
It's a journey.
Yes.
And one thing we all need to be clear is the topic must be of your interest. So, of course,
Yes.
I did not have that challenge. I worked under the guidance of Dr. Anuradha Bakshi from
Uh,
Nirna Niketan College of Home Science, a fantastic person and an extremely intelligent and very well versed in the research techniques and methodology and everything. So, I learned a lot from her. So many things that I can write a book on that actually. So you asked about the challenges, and I think one challenge which I really had was managing time, like with a full-time job as well as giving time for the PhD. I think time
right.
management is something that was very crucial. We need to
Mm.
manage the time between because you have your regular job, you have your
Yes.
certain family
Yes.
commitments, and you also
Mm.
have your doctorate that you need to be doing. So,
Yes.
keeping up to deadlines is a challenge, but
Yes.
to overcome that, I think what is important is you set your timelines, you set your deadlines where you will be working on because, my first objective, I just got carried away with that and it went on for almost 2 years. So, and I had
Okay.
four more objectives to do. So it was like then I think my family and my guide said, now relax, let's look on the things which have to be, carried
Uh,
forward. So, time line management is a huge challenge.
mm.
That is one thing that you should keep in mind. I feel once you are planned and you know that this much time I'm going to give for this, then it's much easier. And
Mm.
consistency in working towards the PhD, because sometimes you work on a what do you say? It's like sports. It should not be. So that becomes very difficult. Where in a week you devote this much number of hours that I will devote for the PhD. So then you
Mm.
somehow try to get that time. That is one thing. When you devote the time over the week, you can't have it over the day because you also have a regular job to be doing. So
Yes.
it's not easy. So, but plan it out in a weekly manner so that you achieve that and be consistent in that. That's one thing. Saving your work. Nowadays, we have cloud where we can
Mm.
save it on the cloud. I used to save it on different pen drives and keep it with me so that that loss of
Wow.
work never affect what you're doing. So,
Yes.
because
Yes.
everything that you do is very hard, very
Yes.
difficult. You put a lot of time, energy in that.
Yes.
So, saving
Mm.
the work is something important. And
Yes. Yeah.
writing, keep it simple when you write. That's why it was not a challenge for me, but then I was used to writing it a little bit elaborate. Then I
Okay.
understood my guide that you can express your thoughts in a very simple manner, in a very nice manner. So keep your
Okay.
writing simple so that the reader also benefits, understands. And of course, since you have started, your research proposal needs to be extremely clear. Once it's very clear, you have decided the path completely, then there's no
Yeah.
looking back. And I found that was not a challenge for me because we had put in a lot of time in that. And since that was proper, going from one step to the other was very easy. The only big
Hmm.
challenge for me was managing my time with my regular college work at SIS and
Hmm.
yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this was
But that was, something I learned from you, managing time, because it is very important. My PhD work has just now started, so I am not experiencing that much thing. But I know in future there's going to be little issue with time. Yeah. So, and another thing is, you conduct a lot of motivational workshops for students and empowerment workshop for parents also. So, can you share your experience on this? Because this is quite interesting. Empowerment workshop for parents. As a parent, I would like to know a little more about it. Yeah.
schools call me to talk to their parents, and usually I talk to pre-primary and early primary parents. I have not spoken to higher education or parents of
Okay.
higher education like that. They call me in our colleges, so where we meet the
Okay.
parents of the you know. So then the topic varies. So when you talk about parent orientation workshops, basically I do a lot on helping parents to understand the importance of the early years. People think अरे छोटा बच्चा है ना और प्री स्कूल ही है ना, तो they don't really take it very seriously. So
Uh-huh.
the importance of the early years, spending quality time with children, that
Uh-huh.
there, because of this mobile phone coming into our hands,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
parents are so busy, each one is busy with their phone, and they give one phone or a tablet to the child and engage the child. So
Yes.
spending
Yes.
quality time, the workshop focuses more on that. And after the workshop is over, parents come and meet me and they tell me, yes, I think that was something which we've been doing, and
Okay.
tips to engage them and understand new health and nutrition, the kind of good eating habits that children need to follow in
Okay.
their life. And everything starts very young. So generally, I
Yes.
speak to parents on the importance of the early years and on parenting. What are the parenting tips and what is it that we can do? See, parenting is a process.
Hmm.
I have a 25-year-old son and I am still learning. It's not that you know everything or
Right.
because you conduct a parenting
Yes.
workshop, everything. Parenting is a process. We all learn from each other each day. So, I focus a lot on these areas specifically for the parents. For
Okay.
my students, it's a little different where we focus a lot on, for example, enhancing self esteem,
Mm-hmm.
knowing your self worth. That is one of our main vision statements of the Institute
Okay.
of Comprehensive Education. SIS, we focus a lot on that. So,
Okay.
sensitivity, developing that. So, knowing more about yourself and and accepting yourself. That is when we accept ourselves as we are. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's very important. So we do that
Yes.
on that's something we and when we do the self-esteem workshop, what happens is the students are. I have tried it at varying points. Immediately after we begin the course, early childhood teacher education, or after a few months, and we found that after a few months is better. So we do it a little scientifically where I administer a questionnaire. There's a Rosenberg self-esteem scale. We administer that to the students. We know their self-esteem ratio, and then we do the program. Like children, they speak, and it's a very long workshop. We go on for about 4 hours,
Okay.
and by
Okay.
then students are there's a lot of change that I've observed after that because once they've opened up, they feel much better. So that these
Okay.
are those workshops, and recent one which I did for somebody, which I'm going to do for my students, is on understanding sustainable developmental goals. Somebody
Okay.
asked me to speak on that. I did it, and I planned it for my students. Now I'll be doing it next week. I think
Okay.
we are only worried about ourselves, but I think our environment plays a very important role. And I think as teachers, or as counselors, or as special educators, I think that's very crucial. So,
Yes.
I am planning that, and when I did it with another group, it was very encouraging. So I'm like all motivated to do it for my own students.
Okay, good. So you're the director of a very reputed institute, that is SIES. I mean, in Mumbai, it's quite famous. So I just would like to know, like, if you can share or tell something about your career, because that's something which I feel that for a woman, building her career and at the same time we have to take care of the family also. So at times the women, they get demotivated. Okay, it's not possible for me. Okay, this I can't. That work life balance is not there. She starts feeling. So if you can share your experience, I think that is going to motivate a lot of women, those who have joined and those who will be watching this after the this live also. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, my career began as a pediatric dietitian in Chennai. So,
Oh. Yeah.
my graduation was on nutrition, food service management, and dietetics. So, I started
Okay.
as a pediatric dietitian. But to be very honest, I didn't quite enjoy that. Then I joined in Chennai. I joined as a junior research fellow for a UNICEF project on early childhood education. I believe
Okay.
in the way the universe functions, you know. So I worked at a place called Directorate of Teacher Education Research and Training. I never thought I will be in teacher education or anything like that. Just out of masters, and you're all motivated to do some work. And it was a UNICEF project, and it was a nice project. I worked for a year there. Then I got married, so I had to come to Mumbai. I
Okay.
have to say this truth that I became a teacher by chance and not by choice at the
Oh.
beginning. I did not want to become a teacher or anything like that. I thought, okay, when I got married and came here, I saw the advertisement of wanting requirement of a teacher at Udyachal School, Godrej School, which is one of the
uh,
best schools, and I feel God has been extremely kind for me to have got an opportunity to work there, you know.
mm,
And that's how the teaching journey began. I started as a primary teacher, class 1 teacher. and
oh.
um, and there, I'm on the first day I met students who have trained from SIS, instead of comprehensive education, and who've taken up jobs in the preschool. So when I met them, I
Oh.
thought, shouldn't I be there? Why am I here? That was another
Oh.
strong thought I feel that came. And after 2 years, and then after my son was born, I had to take a small break. Then I
Okay.
joined SIS in the year 2000. So from then on, I'm with SIS. I am training teachers, early childhood teachers, and counselors and special educators. And in 2010, I took over as the director of the institute. So it's been
Oh.
a long journey. It's like being in my mother's house in SIS for me. And, you know, it is
Uh,
so much part of my life. My entire family are alumni of SIS. But the way I
okay.
jump about the college is like as though I have studied here. But when
Oh.
you study, probably you study for 3 years or 5 years. But when you work, it's a
Yes.
different relation.
Yes. Yes.
And
True.
work-life balance, you said. I feel, the teaching job is something which will give you a work-life balance, because you are actually, you have your family time also, and you have a job that you need to take care. At this point, I must say that I had extremely supportive in-laws who took care of my home, took care of my child. So my journey was very, very easy, and I owe all this to them actually. They were there for me for everything. So family support is very, very crucial.
Yes. Yes.
Your spouse, your children, I think,
Yeah.
they need to understand the value of what you're doing, and once they understand the value of what you're doing, it's going to be easy. That's what I tell my students also, that, you give importance to the course, so then the entire family will give you importance. If you take it
So
lightly,
true.
they also will take it lightly.
Yes.
So
Very true. Very true. Yeah. Yeah. That's so
that is
nice way of explaining. I think, yeah, that's it. Superb. I mean, this is something which, I mean, if I don't give respect to the work which I am doing, so how others are going to respect it? It's something like that. Yeah, that's good. So, Dr. Vidya, you have also co-authored a chapter titled "Qualitative Career Assessment Using Genogram." I think I've spelled it correctly. Okay, what is it exactly?
Um, basically, a genogram is a qualitative career assessment tool. So this work was done along with Dr. Anuradha Bakshi only, and it was her
Okay.
idea basically. And when she was explaining and discussing, like, should we collaborate and do it, it was damn interesting. And it's a very detailed, it's an exploratory, qualitative tool that you can adopt to understand. It's like a family tree diagram, if you actually see, and where the client actually is the expert, and along with the counselor who is facilitating this process. So they work together, and you basically draw. It's a visual representation. A genogram is a visual representation. It's
Okay.
like a diagram where you map out three generations. So in
Okay.
detail, you map out. So it's like doing a three generational family tree, and you can take a particular topic. So in our study, we took the occupation, the educational status, as well as the this thing, as well as interests and hobbies. These are the three
Okay.
things that we took in the career genogram, and then very in-depth study it was. So in a genogram, what is important is it's not like just being counseled by a counselor. It is the client who's making, who's getting very introspective, who's getting into a lot of detailing, who explains a lot to the counselor, who's the facilitator there
Okay.
basically. Here the process is more important than the product. So if I, so first is to draw. I was also one of the participants in the study along with being the co-author. So along with two other people, we three people had taken part in this study, which was quite detailed. And we mapped and we found out what are our interests, what are our educational status. So when you actually look at your family, in when you see it on black and white on paper, you realize that there are certain trends in your family. So one of the participants told that she felt she was more into science and technology, while her mother kept
Okay.
telling her that you're good at teaching. And she worked as an IT professional for some time, then took a break and then became a teacher. So she says, now when I look at it, I understand, and also that they were her aunts who were teachers. So that
Okay.
education thing was coming in to a great extent. In my own case, when I mapped out my family, I realized in my maternal side, especially, there were so many of my aunts and uncles and so many people who took up teaching. Though, as I told you, I never wanted to be a teacher, but then later when
Yes.
I reflected, I write, okay, this is, of course, I feel that's the best thing that has happened to me. Both my parents are teachers at university level. And then I realized that there is so much of this. Looking at interest, the other participant looked at the interest and very strong music interest came in. So when we look
Okay.
at our family, we are able to kind of get a structure. We are able to, what do you say? You can. It's multi-generational ideas, attitudes, values, role
Okay.
plays, role that each family member takes up, emotional expressions. A lot of things can be mapped out with this genogram in particular. And one thing is, like, it's not only to know about your family, your educational status, and your link of your interests and all that, but even if there is a dysfunctional characteristic that is coming up, that can be avoided. When you look at your family and you find out that, okay, this is a characteristic which is coming in very strongly, I must take care that I don't develop that. Suppose it's alcoholism or something like that, which you find in the entire family tree. It helps you to look at yourself. The perspective of the person who's looking at it becomes very important, and it's actually aided by a counselor. So career counselors can be using this to find out what is the best suited for this person based on family genograms. So we wrote on
Okay.
that. It was very interesting
Okay.
for me to study it also, and I did learn a lot from that.
Okay. Okay. And I would also like to know about the book How and Me. I think you have penned down a book, right? So for that, what exactly it is, and how who inspired you for that book or something? Yeah.
It's actually, I've written a chapter in that book. This
Achha.
book was actually published by Drishti, with whom we partner for our online courses in special education. So we have around
Okay.
6 online programs with Drishti. And
Okay.
so they had wanted me to write a chapter. And at SI Institute of Comprehensive Education, we have special education programs. And one of the main things that we adopt is, you know, trying to bring in inclusive practices in our own classrooms. So, in our counseling program or in our teacher training program, we do have, students with special learning needs. We do take them. We do not deprive them, because when we are running our program ourselves, it's important to
Yes.
include everybody in
Yes.
this. In this whole thing, it's you can't talk inclusion and not include them. That's being fake. So
Hmm.
we include students, and we even had physically handicapped. We've had students with lower vision. We have made our worksheets bigger. We have question
Okay.
papers in a bigger font size. Something like that.
Hmm.
So when this was Drishti's 25th year, they were celebrating the silver jubilee. So they had invited different people to
Okay.
co-author and write different chapters. Basically, it is a
Okay.
very beautiful community initiative. If you see, people from
Okay.
all walks of life have written, and in my case, I had written on healing touch perspectives of specialists. That was the topic, and I wrote on I am responsible for inclusion early years to higher education. Now, why
Okay.
I wrote this topic and this, when they told me to write like a human interest story, what is it that I wanted to write was, in particular, I had a student who was learning disabled, but the way she showed enthusiasm to do things, the way she would, we would give students 3 days submission time. Her mother would
Okay.
help her a lot to do, but this girl will want to finish it on that first day only. And I
Okay.
saw that interest in her, and then she's now become an early years educator in a special school. So somewhere
Okay.
her journey actually inspired me to write that, and I discussed about various aspects of inclusion, the type of inclusive practices that one can adopt at higher education, and starting from early years, I took it across. So that was a very fulfilling experience because we were bringing what we do in college to the world actually, and thanks to Drishti for that opportunity.
Um, I mean, that was lovely talking to you. So many things, we get to know about you, the work which you are doing. So, before we end the session, any message for our audience, especially for the women? Uh,
Um, See, women empowerment, and if you see, I'm grateful that I'm working at SIS, Institute of Comprehensive Education, where in all our courses, predominantly we are women. So we are able to give something back to the society. I think financial empowerment is something very important. You may earn little money, you may not earn lakhs of rupees, but then you may earn some amount of money, and then make you financially independent. And I think it's very important that we are financially independent. So when you talk about empowerment, it's basically giving us women an opportunity to take decisions in life. So, what I want to leave people with is, it's important to whatever job that you do, you can be a teacher and work so that you get a work life balance, 3 4 hours job, then you have time for your family, or a counselor or a special educators. All the courses that we offer are kind of focused on bringing work life balance only. So, in something like that, choose a small course which you can do and then get a profession out of it. So, that is one thing, and always do something. See, today there is, thanks to the pandemic, there is so much of technology available for us. Right
yes.
from if you want to learn how to do mandala drawing to joining a
Right.
course class, everything is
Yes.
available online today. So make use
Yes.
of technology, make use of all the options that are available today. I think that's important because we have to look at our lives as, life is a, we all know it's a series of experiences, but it is also that life needs to be taken as a learning experience. And with this pandemic, I think, what is important is, small, whatever that you do, do it well. And also
Yes.
not to, mental health is something which everybody speaks about today. Also, that we are doing it to a great extent in our college. My mind goes back to that because if we have a problem, I think it's important to take professional help. There's nothing wrong in that. If you want, if there is some problem that your mind is, agitated, and all that, go to a counselor, talk to a counselor, and the counselor is professionally trained, so they will guide you. And I think it's important to seek
Yes.
help. Talk to people, talk to an elderly. If you are not really feeling so comfortable talking, I think it's important that we keep that in mind, and remember that this situation that we are in, this too shall pass. It's not that it is going to be, it's a catastrophe if you actually see. It is something huge. But, when I look back, me in particular, I feel I've got the option to work from home. Things come on my doorstep. I've been vaccinated. I'm very
Yes.
careful by wearing masks and all that. I think it's important we look at the positive things rather than,
Yes.
many times we pick up the phone and we are only cribbing about the
Right.
corona. So let's start
Right.
looking
Right.
at the good things, and let's not spread negativity. I think we need to be more positive. I know a lot of people have lost their loved ones, so it is a very difficult time, no doubt about it. But I think we need to understand the severity of the problem and kind of move on, So focus on your mental health, be very positive in whatever, and resilience is something which we all have to develop. And things will pass on. It is not that forever we are going to be in sadness, forever we
Yes.
will be in this. There will be, the ray of hope will come and we will move on. Learn as much as possible in life. There are so many things to learn. Now we have so many opportunities to learn, and like this, to meet people. So many things have
Yes.
come up out of the pandemic. It's not necessarily that it's sickness alone, but I feel this is what we need to take home, be positive, and seek help in case you need it.
Right, right. So that was, thank you so much, Dr. Vidya. It was lovely interaction. I mean, we have got so many messages, the messages are still showering. I highlighted some of them, and it was really inspiring. That's what Prakash Bhargavaji is also saying. It's really, really inspiring. The way you spoke everything. So, Veena ji, thank you so much for introducing me to Dr. Vidya. Krishnaveni is Veena ji, she's there today for this. So, I mean, thanks a lot for this lovely interaction. And it was really, really, really inspiring. Thank you so much, Vidya ji. So, yeah, it was,
Thank you.
thanks a
Thank you so
lot.
much. Another important thing which I feel I must say at this point is be together with your family.
Yes, true.
That
Yeah.
family bonding and the help of the family and being together is very, very crucial. And we should look at it as a time for bonding. Somewhere I heard somebody say the earth is cleansing itself. So maybe it is cleansing itself in this format, but we need to be together. Family that stays together is always there together. So thank you so much also, Veena ji, for giving me this opportunity to meet Ms. Swaminathan. This was really very, very nice. Thank you so much, and God bless everybody, and have a nice day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vidya ji.
Thank you so much.